It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B. Ron filling in from March this morning, and joining me is Rick Blaze. Rick, it's good to be back here with you on what is today? Wednesday? My days are all blending together now.
Hey, B-Ron, it's good to be back. It's good to have you back, good sir. Uh, yeah, on a
Thank
Wednesday, a hump day.
you, sir.
We had a little bit of snow in the forecast, which makes it a longer hump. So for me, it's been an extended hump day. Let's get to it.
Yeah, it's frigid here too, so I feel you, man. Let's go ahead and let's get this show on the road, shall we? SWBA, the All-Star game right around the corner here, and the format change brings with it interesting talk about who's gonna be on these All-Star teams, make the selections to be in the voting anyway to get on these teams. Tournament style event. You got 4 teams. It'll have 8 players on them. Then this is first to 40. So this is a very different format for what we're used to seeing. You'll have Team Chuck, Team Shaq, Team Kenny, and other teams looks like. So yeah, look, this is a different format, but regardless of that, Rick, all that aside, who do you think is going to be on these All-Star teams? Just a few names off the top of your head, and how you think it's going to go once this is all kind of said and done with the new format and everything else.
First of all, I think it's going to be, at least for the first year, for this year until we see how it unfolds, I think it's going to be excitement to kind of see what this is going to look like. So I think they're going to get, at least initially, some good ratings because they're going to see, okay, how is this going to play out? But I'm excited about the potential first time All-Star players. Guys like Cade Cunningham in Detroit, who's been balling. Victor Wembanyama. I'm gonna go Sengun in Houston, right? Maybe look at a Jalen Williams for OKC. So I'm really excited about those. Evan Mobley from Cleveland. I'm really excited about the guys who has an opportunity to become first time um, all-star selections. That's always cool. Especially you get to see kind of the young breed. It's kind of like a billboard for the SWBA of, hey, these are the guys who are probably the future of this league, or at least they're projected to be on the current course that they're on. So, you have your normal shoe-ins like your Nokic, your LeBron Jameses and your Steph Currys and your Giannis's, but I'm super excited about the young pups getting a chance to get their first time at it in this new format.
Yeah, that's also what I was gonna say too. I'm looking forward to seeing which of the uh younger players make their way into the All-Star game this season, because they still have that Rising Stars challenge as well. So to see who gets in from that over, owns the actual All-Star game roster themselves is gonna be fun to see. You mentioned you got like Wemby, and I'll even go with a guy like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as well. He's someone who's been a favorite of mine over the last few seasons with his rise and that kind of stuff. So looking forward to seeing how, if he should get in. And then of course, like you said, your LeBrons, your Curry, especially LeBron, because it'll be his last one. He should get in and have his moment and all of that. But of course, you've got your guys like Luka. You mentioned Giannis, Jason Tatum as well. Karl Anthony Towns, perhaps, because last reported here, he was third in his All-Star voting spot at center as well. So this is definitely going to be. I think with the 24 player players making it, dividing them all up into teams, I think it's going to be fun to see how it all works. I personally still don't think it's going to be any more competitive than it has been over the last couple of seasons, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. What do you think about that, though, out of curiosity?
I mean, look, these guys make a ton of money. You gonna make it competitive. You got to throw some bags at them. You got to throw some money at them. So I don't know if it ever be competitive. Maybe it's too far gone for it to ever be really competitive like it used to be. But I do have a thought about how to make the slam dunk contest, which is always my favorite event, how to make that more competitive. My suggestion would be you take some guys in the SWBA, of course, cool. But I would have the All-Star version for the G League earlier than the SWBA and let them have a dunk contest, and the winner of that G League dunk contest competes in the SWBA
Mm.
dunk contest as the final entry. So what's going to happen is this guy in the G League, he's going to give you 1,000% because he's on the biggest stage that he may not get a chance to be on again. And then you got those other guys in SWBA now. No, you got a hungry pup in there that's going to try to show you up. I think it's going to raise the level of competitive juices. Well, at least I know for a fact there's one guy competing that he's going to give you everything he has. He's going to empty the tank on this thing, and I think it's going to raise the competitiveness of all the contestants. And it's a win-win for both the G League and the SWBA, and chances are this guy and these other players know each other anyway. So I think if the SWBA will adopt that, put me on the committee so we can get this done, so we can bring good dunking back to the dunk contest. The last time I seen a really good dunk was a donut inside of a glass of milk.
Good dunks, good times in the All-Star game, perhaps, but maybe not so good times for Houston. Last night, they played Xavier, and they were winning in the first half. And then all of a sudden, look in the second half, they weren't, and they ended up losing the game as well as Xavier pulls out the win in that one, 68-61 over Houston. And there's been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about various hot seats around SimWorld U, and one of those is Kelvin Sampson. Me and Jay talked about it during the game last night. We both think that he's not going to be fired, but the question still remains, though, because it has been talked about, I guess. Do you still think about firing him, Rick, with all this going on? Is it really? Do you really wait to fire a guy like Kelvin Sampson?
Look, it's one thing to lose basketball games. It's an entire thing to lose the locker room. Kelvin Sampson, in my opinion, at this point has lost the locker room. Once you lose and start losing like teams to Xavier, you start dropping games at home, and you're up, and it's no disrespect, but Xavier ain't no cream of nobody's crop, right? So once you start losing games like that, the way that they're losing, it's telling me that the players have checked out. Once the player has checked out on you as a coach, you need to have another coach. The culture is not a winning culture. It's not a positive culture. I've seen someone in the threads talking about they suggested to fire Kelvin Sampson after the 2 bad years is not the way things work. Child, please. These big time programs do not sit around and wait to have 5, 6, 7 losing seasons in a row. That's not how this works. This is a what have you done for me lately business. And in the last 2 seasons, Kelvin Sampson has done jack to this Houston team, and they have talent, and they should be winning, and they're not. He don't even want to be on the court. He's getting now kicked out the games for picking up multiple technical fouls. Your coach don't even want to be there. So how the heck he gonna be the coach and the players if he don't want to be on the court?
Look, Rick, I hear what you're saying. The guy's been around for 45 years as head coach.
He should make 46.
He's had his success, and I think he's earned a longer leash than a lot of coaches in college basketball, Rick. So, and I said it last night, and I'm gonna stand by it. He's not getting fired. He's not getting fired.
So for you, then what's the cutoff? How long is too long?
If
he has a longer leash, then how do you determine how long is too long? Is there a magic longer leash number we gotta go by? What's the longer leash magic number then? Because obviously losing the locker room and losing games you shouldn't lose over 2 seasons for you is not longer. It's not the criteria. So what is the criteria for longer leash? coaches.
Like Houston last season, they won the American Conference, and they went 23-11, something like that last season. They were really good last season. Same for Xavier. I know we're talking about this season, but last season they won the conference, and this is a team that went to Hoop Area last season. Again, same for Xavier. Neither of these teams were slouches last season. This season, yes, they both have underperformed. That is true, but we can't just look at this and say, "Oh, well, gotta go," because then, if that's the case, no one has any kind of longevity at all. The moment you lose 2 games in a row, you're fired. That's ridiculous. We're not doing that.
I'm not saying 2 games in a row, but they've lost
Yeah, no,
more than
I
2
know.
games.
I know you're not saying that, but that's what it feels like. If it's a "what have you done for me lately" situation, you've lost 2 games in a row. This is lately. You are now on the hot seat, bud. That's ridiculous. I'm not here to say that. So for me personally, again, with Kelvin, given Kelvin Simpson's age and where he is in his career anyway, he's probably going to be close to retiring anyway. So let him finish out this season. Conference play is coming up. We'll get to that in a minute. Conference play is coming up. They still have time to turn this thing around. If they don't turn it around, if he retires, he's out of your hair anyway. Which all signs, in my opinion, leaning towards him retiring anyway. So you let him finish out his last season, and you go budget management after Houston. You find another guy to replace him.
I'll be wrong. Okay, hypothetical. He does not retire. They continue to have this miserable season for the rest of the season, for the rest of this year. Maybe make the tournament. Maybe they probably don't make the tournament. He doesn't retire. He wants to come back the next season. Does his seniority allow, in your opinion, does he have a job next season if he chooses not to retire? And the team goes the trajectory that they're currently on. Does he have a job next season if he chooses not to retire?
Yeah. Yep. I still think he does. Still think he does have a job. Speaking of jobs, the Iron Bowl is now coming to the hardwood. Both of these teams, Alabama and Auburn, have jobs to do tonight as conference play finally kicks off here in SimWorld U basketball. Alabama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl invades the hardwood, and Alabama is doing really good this season, as we all know. 15-1, number 2 in the SP top 25 on a 10-game win streak. They haven't played in quite a while. And Auburn on the other side of that, they are 7-9, 3-2 in their last 5, and they won their last time out as well. What are we looking for tonight in this game? I think this will be the first time we've seen Alabama since the departure of Aiden Weaver, who, again, we know wasn't a quote-unquote star on the team per se, but was still a guy who was a valuable player in terms of being a good three-point shooter for Alabama. How do you think this one goes tonight, Rick?
Well, first of all, Alabama's putting it all on the line, right? They're 15. Make sure they are 15-1. They've won 10 straight games, as you alluded to. They're going against the Auburn team that's played pretty good. I mean, their book of Auburn is currently, well, they're 7-9. So I don't know. But let's throw the records out the way for a while, because again, once these two teams play, whether it's on the gridiron or whether it's on the basketball court, pride is always on the line. Auburn's just trying to turn their season around and just start with this conference. This would be a fantastic win for Auburn if they can pull this out. Not only do you beat a 15-1 team, top 5 team, but you also get to turn your season around, get the confidence, and it's a rival game. So Auburn has an opportunity to really tonight make history on their basketball program. Now, that's a separate conversation. Are you asking me, do they have a chance? Hell no, they ain't got a chance to win this game. It's just not happening. But anybody can dream, anybody can try, anything can happen. But yeah, I don't see that really. Auburn, they 7-10 as far as I'm concerned.
I'm right there with you. I think that with Barkley James and Bevis and Patches on Auburn, I think those two guys will bring a lot of fire, bring a lot of heart to that game, because I think those two kids in particular, this is the kind of environment that they're made for and want to play in. A tough, rivalry-focused, intense environment. So I think that they'll bring it and help elevate the team as a result. The two freshmen, but I think Alabama has too much on the team altogether. I don't think it'll be a blowout, Rick, but
No.
I do think that Alabama will end up winning the game once it's all said and done.
Yeah, and like I said, if not, then on tomorrow's show, there's going to be a lot to talk about, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
Auburn's coming in the heavy underdog in this situation. But being an underdog is not the worst place to be. I can think of other places to be that are worse. But I think it allows teams sometimes to play a little more loose and a little more fiery. So Auburn has a chance to give them upset. They do have a chance. Now it's a snowball's chance in hell, but it's still a chance nonetheless.
yeah. Everyone has a chance, right? Everyone has a chance, right? Until they play the game, everybody got a chance. We'll see how it goes. Well, look, let's wrap this thing up. We got some games last night. Let's go ahead and let's wrap this puppy up, shall we? Starting with the first broadcasted game last night. St. John's, number 14 St. John's won a scrappy game against number 23 SMU, 78-69. Both teams have 4 players in double digits, but Jabari Shannon and Keyshawn Shipp for the Red Storm finished double doubles. Shannon had 22 points, 4 rebounds, and Shipp, and it was 14 points and 11 rebounds on the night. Next up, Villanova, number 8 Villanova handles Wichita State, 79-52. North Jackson edges Belk Wine for 41 points in front of the home crowd as chants of "We Want Butler" ring out from the down the home stretch of that game. Wildcats with a Big East play early, clearly. The smart kids over at Harvard and the Wolverines a 73-60 loss. Harvard finishes the game shooting 49% as a team led by Kyer Vogler, Grayson Lovelace Jr., and Macklin Mighty. A thriller between Penn State and number 19 Princeton ends the Tyshawn Penn game winner with 2.3 seconds left in the game. They survive over the Nittany Lions, 73-72. Ridgeon Miss led the way with 19 points and 4 rebounds, and Susil shooting 81%. Finally, Jackson State does it again, getting another big upset on the season, this time knocking off number 24 Minnesota, 64-55. The Tigers' largest lead of the game was 18 at one point, and they had to be big enough the entire game throughout the way, though. Tigers also had double-doubles, guys in the double figures, Roy Mason, Dee Woodley, and Richard Alpine. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you, Rick, for being on, and don't forget, guys, the game of the week is Thursday, January 29th at 9:30 p.m. It's USC taking on UCLA. You'll see Gabe Pope, Baymo, Quinton Patterson, and Jalen Snow for UCLA. All those guys over there in the California rivalry. It's some great basketball over the next couple of days as conference play kicks off. It starts tonight as well. We'll see, again, Alabama and Auburn in the late game. Look out for that one. More games earlier in the day, throughout the day. Keep it locked here on SimWorld TV. We'll see you back here for SimWorld today, tomorrow. Rick and Mark will be back here. And remember, guys, SimWorld's the only place you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow.